Radio Free Cybertron.
Transformers.
Rewind.
This week on Transformers Rewind, it's Revelations Part 3, Apocalypse. Following up from the last episode, Nightscream and Black Arachnia face Jetstorm. As Thrust watches on, Jetstorm extracts Black Arachnia's spark.
How could you let this happen to us, Boss Monkey?
You failed us, Optimus. Just like you failed Cybertron. How can I stop this? Tell me!
I don't
Valiantly,
know what Megatron
Nightscream
has in
faces
store for
both
you today,
Jetstorm and
but
Thrust.
I'm sure it won't be pleasant.
Gotcha! Why, you little Jetstorm! Afterbird!
Going somewhere, tailpipe?
Just looking for something worth fragging.
Me too. Guess we both got lucky.
Once retrieved, Black Arachnia's body is reunited with her spark.
Come on, you...
Megatron has started a war between the organic and the technological, but we can't overcome the destructive force of his rampant technology.
Don't you see, Optimus?
By means of deduction, as well as Optimus Primal's wacky psychic powers, the Maximals discover that Tankor is in fact the long-lost Maximal Rhinox. But evil.
Easy, Rhinox. We just want to help you.
When pleading proves to be fruitless, the Maximals resort to brainwashing.
Rhinox? It is you! But how—
Ever since Megatron abducted my spark and changed me, I've been conscious inside Tankor. I couldn't reach the surface, couldn't communicate, but the whole time I was watching, learning.
We've recovered you. And together we can finally defeat Megatron.
Defeat him? Open your eyes like mine finally are. Megatron is the only hope this planet has of achieving technological perfection.
Maximals, stand down.
Optimus Primal will have nothing of it, however.
His choice.
Goodbye, Optimus. When we meet again, it will not be as allies.
Optimus Primal shares the secret that he
Prehistoric
learned
Earth were
through the
not
Matrix.
fought in vain. The Matrix sent us there to bring back the organic elements we now carry in our bodies. The Matrix means for us to restore nature to Cybertron.
I'll be honest, I actually sat down and watched Revelations Part 1, 2, and 3. But I think most of what we really need to know happens in Part 3. Because Rhinox is still around and he's an ass. That's pretty much what this whole three-parter says to me, is that Rhinox is an ass, and he's back. And he's an ass.
Well, I think he's very similar to the way that we see him in...
He's an ass.
That Dark Megatron...
Dark Designs, yes.
Dark Designs, yeah. I mean, I think he's very similar to himself in that respect. And I think, there's... I don't know, I can't remember the resolution on this, whether or not they decided, like, I didn't mean to be really bad, I was just sort of bad.
He died, and that was sort of it.
Yeah, he was unrepentant.
No, well, he wasn't he died and went to the. I think he died, and then just before, when he died, it was in the first episode of season 2. He went off to the Matrix and said that he paid for his sins by dying, and that was about it. I mean, internal to the show, they never really say if this is Rhinox making his own choice or not. I mean, I believe Bob Skir opined that Rhinox was like he made his own choice freely. If so, that's awful.
Yes, it is.
There are visuals in the show where you see Tankor and Rhinox, not in this episode, but in a later episode, where you see Tankor and Rhinox on opposite sides of one spark, struggling in pain. That seems to suggest that, Tankor's shell program around Rhinox, that it's something. And frankly, I have to believe that. Now, I actually really like Beast Machines. I'm not a Beast Machines hater in the slightest. I really actually like Beast Machines. Beast Machines was I was able to see all the way through in order, thanks to Irish television. First Transformers show I was actually able to videotape all of. I've actually probably watched Beast Machines all the way through more times than I've watched any other Transformers series all the way through, because I had it all and I could watch it. And I really do like Beast Machines, but I do have to believe that one thing in order to get through it.
So yeah, I mean, there's so much of that character that's established, and it is so similar to, like we said, like the previous, that it just kind of makes sense. It's
I mean,
such
that is one of the things about Beast Machines, is that it had its story and its character roles that are required for that story to move the way it does. Yeah. And it really does take the Beast Wars cast and sort of slam them sideways into the roles that the story requires. Some of them work. Cheetor works. Optimus Primal is a big transformation, but you do actually see the character go through the process of becoming a zealot and finding religion, essentially. You see it happen.
Yeah.
And alternately, Rat Trap it just sort of happens, Megatron, there's never any explanation for why he gets his hatred of organics. I always like to believe that he fell on his head when he landed on Cybertron, and that was the answer. And Rhinox is just another one of those things where it's like the plot called for a former ally of the character to change sides in a non-redeemable personal way, and Rhinox was just yanked in to fit the bill, Yeah. Some of the changes I really like. I like what Optimus goes through. I love Silverbolt in season 2. I love the fact that his honor is turned against him and becomes this thing that this weight on him instead of this. I mean, I really hated Silverbolt in season 3 of Beast Wars. He was this goofy cartoon of a character, far beyond what he was in season 2. And I really love what they did with him in Beast Machines. And I know that's not a popular opinion, but I really do.
No, I completely agree. I think it made a character that was sort of two-dimensional very three-dimensional and very realistic. So, no, I think and some of the things like for this episode, and a lot of it focuses around that revelation of Rhinox. But there's the other part of it, which again is that sort of spiritual bit with Black Arachnia, and of course when she still thinks that just all the weird stuff with Thrust that was a bait and switch that never really worked out. It was such an odd thing that never.
It's like they were just being so obvious about it that you thought it had to be somebody else, but
yeah.
You didn't think it was gonna be Waspinator.
No, no. Even though the evidence was there, but
that's the thing about Beast Machines for me as well, is that it was the first Transformers show that I was actually able to follow as it aired in America. Now, I don't remember what website it was, and I was on dial-up internet at the time, but I was able to watch Beast Machines episodes week on week as they were aired, and we're talking like little RM files that big.
Oh yeah.
But I watched it, and I did see the whole series as it aired in America, and that never happened again until animated. Like in between then, from RID through the entire Unicron trilogy, never happened. So for that reason alone, like I had this. I admit, like some of it's just having a soft spot for it being the first series I was able to watch while I was part of the online fandom as well. That I had this big soft spot for. I'm not blind to its flaws, but in this episode is like we find out the truth about Rhinox. Optimus Primal and Black Arachnia do some spiritual stuff. and Cheetor and Rat Trap stand on top of a bridge for 15 minutes.
Yeah, that does happen. Yes.
Yeah, you mentioned Thrust, and I love Thrust so much in this series. He's far and away the best character for me personally, at least the new character for the series. It's not this episode. It's was it a later episode? I used to mention this all the time when Thrust flipped off Primal. God, best thing ever.
Yeah.
I did,
but it's like he's only got 3 fingers, so he just goes.
Yeah.
Just sort of flicks his arm at him, but it's great.
Yeah.
So in this episode, Cheetor's resolution to the Rhinox's evil problem is brainwash him, do it.
Make him like us again.
Cheetor.
Yeah, and Primal's like, well, no, he's made his choice.
The idea that a good character could legitimately disagree with the
ideology.
What's the word I'm looking for here? With the outlook, the mission statement, the
philosophy,
goal, the ideology of their leader, and change sides. Fascinating. We've never had it in a Transformers cartoon before, like really straight up properly. I think we got it out of Armada Starscream. Essentially, it's probably about the only other time it really, really happened. Unfortunately, they picked the one Maximal above anyone else in the entire cast who was least likely to do that out of the previous 52 episodes of character establishment.
Yeah. But yeah.
But Rhinox didn't have a toy, so
well,
they had a rat toy and they had a cheater. They had several cheetah toys. Remember, they were very large.
I remember his face being on all the packages.
But you should love him. But boy, and I don't know. I love that Cheetor bit where even Rat Trap is like, I don't know. That's not a very cool thing. No, Cheetor's like, do it! I'm like, wow, that was...
when Rat Trap gets to be your moral compass.
Yeah, that's it.
The thing I don't like about this episode, or maybe this part of Beast Machines in general, is Black Arachnia is so not really Black Arachnia in the sense that she's just emotionally attached to Silverbolt. Certainly she loved Silverbolt. She had that connection. But she was just, in a way, like, neutered because she is just, like, completely frozen because she doesn't know how to react because she thinks Thrust is Silverbolt. And that is just really stuck out in this episode.
She went from being an interesting character because of her allegiances and her alliances and those kinds of things to just being a broken lover.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she wasn't just that, but she is easily. It's like she, along with Rat Trap, are like the 2 big characters of the main Maximal cast who suffer in their being forced. I mean, you've got your religious, zealot, pacifistic leader, your hot-tempered young second in command who doesn't. Who questions his leader's judgment. You got your cowardly tech support. You got your dark action girl with a secret love that she keeps inside, and you got the kid. And like those are the 5 characters. And like they took the Beast Wars cast, and then they went, get in there, smack.
You do that. Yeah,
you be that, and you be that, and it doesn't. That's the big problem out of the gate with Beast Machines. Yeah. I don't deny that as much as I love the series.
So
Black Arachnia and Rat Trap are the 2 that really suffer, and that is on display in this episode as well.
So watching this originally when it first aired, it seemed to me, because the first 5 or 6 episodes were so, to me at the time, boring, that it took forever to get to this point. Going back and like Revelations Part 3 is like episode 8 or 9 of the series.
Yeah,
in my mind,
though, when you think about it.
But it seems like it happened much later. All of these revelations happened much later in the series, but they really didn't.
That's because it took forever for this series to air. I seem to recall that the airing schedule of this was like we got the first 6 episodes, and then it's like there was a break or something. It took forever to get to this point. Yeah, if I'm remembering correctly.
I mean, remember that once you had this, we only had 4 more episodes, and then it went on break in America for like a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you're looking at those 13 in isolation, which you had to do for like a year. Although if I remember right, Canada just barreled straight into season 2.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I think even Bob Skir himself says in retrospect they probably shouldn't have waited as long as they did to finally answer all the questions, because those first 7 episodes of Beast Machines, as much as people, joke about Beast Machines or whatever, they are like 75% running away by volume.
Yes, absolutely they are. Rob,
because the Maximals don't have anything to move towards. When I watched this one last night, I'd forgotten that it took until this point for Optimus Primal to believe that their goal was to to make Cybertron organic again. I'd forgotten that. Because I mean, it turns out at the start of season 2 that he was wrong, and what the Oracle wanted was a balance between the two. But I'd legitimately forgotten that it took until this point in the story for him to realize that's what their goal was supposed to be. So they literally were just running around, blowing up Viacons and running away from them for like 7 episodes.
Very literally spending that many episodes looking for a direction. You should never really let that show on screen.
Well, I mean, it's not like it was really meandering in the sense like the first quarter of any of the Unicron trilogy shows could be described as being meandering. You can say each episode is the one in which, the one in which the first one, the one in which everybody transforms in the vehicle to get introduced, the one in which Night Scream gets introduced, the Rat Trap episode that nobody likes to talk about.
Would that be the Rat Trap episode where he looks after Megatron for a night?
That would be the one.
That, to my mind, is one of the finest bits of Transformers fiction I've ever seen.
Internal to itself, it is a very solid 22 minutes, but with regard to any and all previous characterization of the characters, it's a
you don't watch Beast Machines thinking to yourself, right, I wonder how this ties into Beast Wars. You watch Beast Machines thinking to yourself, how does it tie into its own internal series?
One does have to divorce the two to properly... But that was the single... Next to Rhinox, and because there's kind of an out to explain it away for Rhinox, it probably ranks in several marks above it. It really is the single worst instance of Beast Machines just dumping on the original Beast Wars characterization.
Yeah.
I've always thought about it this way. You look at Beast Machines towards Beast Wars as you look at Beast Wars but towards Generation 1. It takes elements but doesn't take a complete overview. It doesn't sit there and go, and here is the entirety of the Marvel G1 comics. Rip, tear, take, smash, smush, smush. It just takes elements that it likes and makes it an internal narrative.
Yeah.
That's true, but that's how it's presented as a show.
Yeah.
The problem was that
every direct sequel written and drawn by the same people. Not written, well, not story edited. I'm pretty sure some of the individual scripts must be.
Very, very few of the same people worked on it. It wasn't many at all. The other thing I always loved about Beast Machines is it looks like it's an N64 game.
Oh, it looks better than that.
No, I don't mean for the graphical experience that they have. It doesn't look like it's someone's playing an N64 game, but the way the textures work, the way that everything's built, it uses the same kind of style that a lot of N64 and Dreamcast games use. That is one of the reasons I will fight anyone who disses on Beast Machines.
Bouncing straight from Optimal Situation to this one back to back last night, I was reminded just how much I do love the feel of Beast Machines. I don't know exactly. I couldn't describe it to you, but things in Beast Machines look like they would feel different if you touched them to the way things look in Beast Wars.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Include the fire, it would feel like cotton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that last night. I think one of the things that really helps Beast Machines stand up, and it looks to me significantly less dated than Beast Wars.
Yes,
is the fact that we are not doing a direct one-to-one attempt to make anything real. That we are not doing a 1996 CG cheetah. We are doing a partially mechanical cheetah, and that really helps. And Yeah, the later models in Beast Wars had that advantage too, but I think it's even more pronounced here.
Yeah, it's because the stylization internal to the show itself works so well to help it stand by itself. Yeah, as you say, the Beast Wars was, this is a Velociraptor. Look at it. It's 1996. We're mainframe. We're the best there is out there. But when they got this one, you had a whole new group of art directors and designers and conceptual artists come on board, and they gave it a real style to itself, which I think stands up more than, in all honesty, pretty much any other series that comes to mind. Yeah. I love the look of Beast Machines.
And technology progressed too. We can't, technology jumps tremendously from year to year. At least it did then. It's sort of slowed down a little bit. But the difference between 1995 and 1996 technology to 1999, 2000 technology, as far as rendering goes, is huge.
Oh, so, okay. It's like we were talking about Optimal Situation in the previous installment, and something that is like, that is kind of the best Beast Wars ever really looked.
Yes.
But the water still looked like ass.